I don't have a list. You don't need one. I don't have an offer. Even better. I'm not a copywriter. Doesn't friggin' matter. Who would partner with me? More people than you think. Like, what if it doesn't work? Then you've lost some time and you're out $0. If you've been watching this series and thinking, this sounds amazing, Marcus, but it can't be for me. Well, this video is for you. I'm going to go through every objection I hear about found money partnerships and show you exactly why you are more qualified than you think. I'm Marcus, Found Money Family Man. If you haven't watched the rest of this series, links are in the description below. Start from the beginning. But if you've been following along, let's put these last few doubts to rest. So first, I don't have a list. Cool. This is the number one thing I hear, and it's the one that makes me smile every time because not having a list is literally the point of this model. There are business owners right now who have spent years and tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars building their lists, and they know that they're not doing enough with them. They know that there's money sitting in that list that they're not getting to, but they've only got so many hours in a day. And maximizing every possible sale wasn't why they got into business, right? They got into it because they've got a gift, some secret sauce, something that solves problems for people. They want to do more of that, not run more campaigns. So when you come in and you say, hey, I'll activate the part of your audience you're not talking to, and you don't pay me anything, you don't do any extra work, and we split what I generate. That is music to their ears. Think about it like this. You can have a boat, or you can have a friend with a boat who lets you take it out whenever you want. You can build a list, or you can partner with somebody who already built one who's happy to let you work it because you're finding money they didn't even know was there. The next thing I hear is, I don't have an offer, dude. What? Good. That's the advantage, right? Building an offer takes time. It takes money. It takes a ton of testing and tweaking. Your partner has already done all of that. They spent the money. They listened to their market. They refined the product. They got the testimonials, the case studies, the proof that it works. You don't need to build out any of that. It already exists. You're just the person who helps more people find it. And here's the thing that nobody will tell you about offers. The partner's offer is almost always better than whatever you'd build for yourself from scratch. They got years of market feedback baked into what they're doing. You'd be starting at zero most likely. Why would you do that when you can walk into a business that already has a proven offer and just help them sell more of it? Another thing I hear is, I'm not a copywriter, like I'm not good enough. The real floor, the actual skill you need, is being able to spot opportunity. That's it. Can you look at a business and can you see that they've got a pool of buyers that they're not actively selling to? Can you recognize that someone has a great offer and a warm audience that's being ignored? If you can see that, you can make money with this because you don't have to do everything yourself. Some people just bring deals. I call them referral partners. They find the opportunity, they set it up, and they get paid for the life of the partnership. They never write a word of copy. They're stoked. Now, if you want to run the whole campaign yourself, like me, that's where the AI tools come in. That's why I built 1 Hour Phoneless Sales Machine and the Gold Digger Bot. The Gold Digger Bot, you give it a URL, it does this really deep research into that business and crafts these outreach messages that sound completely different from the average cold email. 1 Hour Phoneless Sales Machine takes a partner's existing materials, their webinar, their landing page, testimonials, case studies, whatever, and an hour later, you've got a campaign ready to launch. Like, this is not rocket science. It's understanding that it's not rocket science. Tricky, right? You're not writing the next great American novel. You're helping people solve problems through a plan that's clearly different and desirable from what they've tried before. The tools handle the craft. Now, if you are a skilled copywriter or marketer, even better. Not only do you get better output from the tools, but think about your entire network every client, every former client, every acquaintance in this industry, they've only ever seen you one way. The person they pay $3,000 or $5,000 for some emails or a landing page or whatever. Now, you've got a completely different opportunity to present to those same people. Not as a vendor either, as a partner. Another question, who would partner with me? Look at your phone, scroll your Facebook feed, scroll Instagram, TikTok, all of those ads for courses, coaching programs, challenges, ebooks, AI tools, almost every single one of those is a low ticket front end offer with a high ticket back end. And here's what most people don't realize. Almost none of those businesses are getting rich on the front end. Most of them are actually losing money on customer acquisition. They spend more on ads than they make on that $7 ebook or $27 challenge. All their real money is made on the back end, the high ticket program. But even with that model, they're leaving 80 to 95%. Let that sink in. 80 to 95% of their buyers unconverted, sometimes more, and they're still wildly successful. That right there, that should tell you how much opportunity is sitting right there in the open. What happens after someone buys the front end and doesn't buy the high ticket? They either duck the sales call, don't show up on the webinar, say, no, they say, let me think about it. They say, I need to talk it over with my wife. And the business just moves on. They throw those people into a general email broadcast and really never do any concentrated selling to them again. It's just regular emails. That's the opportunity. Those people, they already bought something. They already raised their hand, right? They just didn't buy that day through that process. And now nobody's talking to them. The best partners I've found are high 7 to low 8-figure businesses, small teams, can make decisions quickly. There's no bureaucracy. There's no talk to this department and join this Slack meeting. You get in, you run your tests, and either you're making money or you move the hell on, right? All right, but Marcus, I've never done this before. Okay, here's what partners actually care about. Having no reason to say no. These people get pitched constantly. Everybody wants their money. Everybody hypes them up with promises. And when you come in different, honest, low pressure, as a partner instead of a vendor, dude, that changes everything. You say, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I know enough about you and your business that I'm willing to fund a test, and if we lose, you're out nothing. I eat all the loss. But if we win, we share on the upside and we bake this big, beautiful pie together that we can just keep cutting slices off for each other. How does that sound? That level of honesty goes a very long way. You're not going to cost them anything. You're not going to make them look bad. You're not going to get in the way of what they're already doing. You minimize their time and energy commitment. When someone hears all that, it's really, really friggin' hard to say no, even if you've never done this before. I had never done this before I had my first deal. My early deals happened before I had any case studies or results to point to. Within a couple of months of trying this model on, I landed that partnership with John Benson, right? The billion-dollar copywriter. He's got over $1 billion in receipts tied to his name. And I was making $1,200 every time someone said yes to his $3,000 offer. Now that didn't happen because I had a resume. It happened because I came in as a partner, not a vendor. I presented the lowest risk, almost no-brainer opportunity I could. And I had the stance that I belonged in that room. When you show up like that, when you can back it up with presence and honesty, the somebodies will acknowledge you, even if you think you're a nobody. The letter of understanding is simple. Here's what we're selling, here's the price, here's what you do, here's what I do, here's how we split it, no lawyers, no legalese, it's just basically like a handshake on paper. Well, what if it doesn't work? I want to be straight with you. Not every campaign works. If it worked every time, everybody would be doing this nonstop. I've had campaigns flop. Messaging wasn't right. Partner undercut me. One time I sent the first hand raiser email and I got flooded with responses from people cussing me out, saying the partner was a scam artist, owed them all this money. I was out. I'd already built the whole thing, out. But here's how to think about the risk. Your investment's time, not money. You're not buying inventory, you're not running ads, you're not paying anybody, you're not signing a lease. You put in the hours to land the deal, build the campaign, run the conversations. It's like flipping a coin. You might get tails 2 or 3 times, but when you get heads, the upside is so disproportionately high that all those other flips are insignificant. One deal where you're collecting $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month makes everything before it totally worth it. And here's the other thing. It's the same amount of work to run a campaign for someone with 50 people on their list as it is for someone with 50,000. I know it's crazy, but it's the same hand raiser email. It's the same Google Doc. The only difference is how many conversations you get to have. So don't waste your time on small opportunities when the big ones take the same effort. Another thing I hear is, I don't know if I have the time, dude. Like, if you've got a busy life, a job, a family, whatever, I totally get it. That's exactly why I built the AI tools I did, because I don't want to spend days writing copy. I don't want to manually craft every empathetic response, especially when I've got like 2 wild kids running through the house screaming and a dog who needs to go outside and pee. For people just starting out, I always say, if you can put 3-4 hours a week into this, you could land some coffee dates, maybe a deal within the first month. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months, but you don't need a ton of deals. For a lot of people, one deal, making an extra $3-5 grand a month, is enough to make this entirely worthwhile for them. This isn't something where you have to like stop everything and just go all in. That's too much pressure. This works best as something you do alongside whatever you're already doing, even if you hate that other thing. The more time you put in, the better. But it's about consistency. It's not about burnout. And once a campaign is running, like, remember, people have the link. Sales come in while you're living your life. You're not on calls. You're not on webinars. You can be at the beach, homeschooling your kids, making dinner. The campaign keeps working. So then you might be thinking like, oh, dude, this sounds way too good to be true. Okay, fair. The hard part is sticking with it. The hard part is not expecting it to rain deals in cash just because you want it to. This is a real business model, and like any real business, it takes work, it takes consistency, it takes momentum. I see people bounce from drop shipping to crypto to Facebook agencies to like whatever the hell the next shiny thing is going to be, right? 1,000,000 miles wide, they go 1 inch deep. This works when you go 1,000,000 miles deep and 1 inch wide, and you just pluck along a little bit every day. Pick the lane, you stay in it, and you keep your head down. You would be, let's be honest, you'd be a bad fit for this if you can't be bothered to have conversations. If asking someone about their opportunities in their business makes you uncomfortable, how much they're making, how much they spend per sale, what their numbers look like, this isn't for you. If you're too shy to do outreach or put yourself out there, this isn't for you. But if you're someone who can spot opportunity, start a conversation, and stick with something long enough to let it work, dude, you can absolutely do this. Okay, so 7 years ago, my wife Story and I were on a beach in Kauai. This is before we lived here. It's called Tunnels. It's in the North Shore. We were super broke. Deep in debt. Our ceiling had literally just fallen apart in our rental, which happened to be in an alley next to an unsupervised halfway house. So someone had actually gifted us this trip. That's how we got there. So we're on the beach. I look over at her and I just go like, hey, let's just move here. And we laugh like young, dumb kids do, because Kauai is one of the most expensive places in the country. It was impossible. 6 years later, we're living here. All from this business model. It didn't happen overnight. I had to invest a lot of money learning how to do this. Way more than I ask anyone to invest learning it from me. I had to stick it out through campaigns that didn't work and deals that fell apart, but I kept going because I wanted something specific. I wanted to be there for my kids while they're young. I wanted my wife and I to make memories together, not just money. And I wanted to design our life on our terms. Homeschool if we want. Beach on a Tuesday if we want. Not having to answer to anyone. No bosses. I still remember sitting at my dinner table with Story and our infant son Max during the holidays and that notification hitting my iPhone. $1,200. My first found money partnership sale. I will never forget that. Whatever your version of Kauai is, maybe it's a ranch in the middle of the country, maybe it's just being home when your kids get back from school, there's a real opportunity here to build that. And while everybody else is afraid, running scared of AI, worried about what it means for their career, wondering what they're gonna do in this new economy, you can use it as your secret weapon. And you can be the secret weapon for businesses who are looking for exactly what you offer. I just want you to win. I want moms and dads to spend more time with their kids, to be there for the memories their kids are making right now, or the ones that they're gonna make without them. This is real. The opportunity's all around you, and you can do this. I just want you to win.